Topic 8.5, Community Ecology Part 1, Symbiosis. To help you study, I've put together a checklist that tells you exactly what you need to study in AP Bio Unit 8, and in fact, all of AP Biology. To download it, go to apbiosuccess.com/checklist. What is symbiosis? Symbiosis is an interaction when two species live together in close proximity, and one species might be harmed by that interaction, the other might gain, or both species might benefit, or one of the two species might be unaffected. On Learn-Biology, we have a couple of interactive exercises that you can use to learn about all the different kinds of symbioses that you need to know about for AP Biology. One thing that I want to emphasize now is that there's a symbol system that's used to describe their relationship, a kind of shorthand. And a plus sign is used for the species that gains, a minus sign is used for the species that loses, and a zero is used if there's no effect. So for example, in competition, it's a minus-minus interaction. In mutualism, it's a plus-plus interaction. With that in mind, we'll now go through the various types of symbioses that you need to know. Competition is a kind of symbiosis where two species require for the same resource and they're competing for that resource. It's a minus-minus interaction. Here we have the example of two predators, a leopard and a lion, and they're competing for the same prey. Here we have the interaction between two trees that live in the forests of the North American Northwest, and the Douglas fir tree and the coast redwood compete for resources such as light, water, space, and soil nutrients. Mutualism is an interaction where both species benefit from the interaction. It's a plus-plus, a win-win interaction, and here we have two examples. One is between clownfish and anemones. The clownfish lives amidst the tentacles of the anemone, and evolution has led to a situation where the anemone doesn't sting the clownfish. So the clownfish gets safety, that's its win. What does the anemone get? Well, the clownfish is a messy eater, so food falls out of its mouth into the tentacles of the anemone where they're digested. And when the clownfish defecates, the feces are also used by the anemone for food, a win-win relationship. Not all of these symbioses that are mutualistic involve anemones, but I couldn't resist sharing this other one. This involves the giant green anemone that lives off the coast in the intertidal zone of the northwestern part of the United States. And this anemone, which is in the same clade as jellyfish, stinging tentacles, just as we saw over here, kind of a predator, it harbors symbiotic algae that live within its tissues. Well, those algae get a safe place to live, and they produce food that the anemone can digest. So it's a win for the anemone, and it's a win for the algae that the anemone harbors. Predation is a relationship where animal species 1 kills and eats animal species 2. It's obviously a plus for the predator and a minus relationship for the prey. It's a win-lose interaction. Here we have a leopard killing a bushbuck, and here we have a kingfisher killing a tadpole. That's predation. Your success in AP Biology starts here. Are you struggling with AP Bio? With Learn-Biology.com, students get the skills and confidence to be a top student and earn 4s and 5s on the AP Bio exam, guaranteed. Go to Learn-Biology.com to find out how you can master your biology course and crush the AP Bio exam. In Herbivory, an animal species eats a plant, and that's a plus for the animal, and it's a minus for the plant. It's a win-lose interaction. Here we have deer grazing on a tree, and here we have a sawfly caterpillar eating a leaf. Commensalism is a relationship where species 1 benefits and species 2 is unaffected. So it's a plus/0 relationship. Win, no effect. In this example over here, we have a cattle egret that likes to perch on top of the cattle. The egret gets a nice place to perch, and the Cattle is pretty much unaffected. On the right, we have moss growing on a tree trunk. The moss gets a nice place to live and grow, and the tree is pretty much unaffected. Parasitism is a long-term relationship in which species 1, the parasite, lives in or on species 2, which is the host, and the host is harmed by that interaction. So it's a plus-minus win-lose interaction. Here are 2 examples. One involves viruses. Viruses are obligate intracellular parasites. In order to reproduce themselves, they need to infect cells, and those can be your cells, the cells of animals, the cells of plants, the cells of bacteria, the cells of protists. So the virus is the parasite, and you, or another organism or another cell, is the host. Here's another parasite. This one is Giardia. That's a single-celled eukaryote that infects people when they take in contaminated water, food, etc. The Giardia reproduces inside our intestinal tracts. It causes diarrhea, other kinds of intestinal upset, and then it leaves via the feces to contaminate other food, water, and spread to another person. Brood parasitism is a relationship in which bird species 1 lays its eggs in the nests of bird species 2. Species 2 feeds and nurtures species 1 at the cost of its own young. That's obviously a win-lose, plus-minus relationship. And here we see this little reed warbler that's feeding this cuckoo that has parasitized its nest. Parasitoidism is yet another variation on parasitism. It's mostly limited to insects, and it's where species 1 lays its eggs in or on the eggs or larvae of species 2. Individuals in species 2 are eventually killed, and that can take quite some time. This is a plus-minus relationship, a win-lose relationship. And here we have parasitoid wasp cocoons and a lime butterfly caterpillar. And the part of the story that you're not seeing is that a wasp came over to the caterpillar, injected in its eggs. The eggs developed inside the caterpillar and then emerged through these holes over here, and then the larvae formed cocoons around themselves. When the cocoons have fully developed, little wasps will emerge, and they'll go ahead and they'll parasitize other caterpillars. Just in case you're thinking that this parasitism niche is unique and unusual, it's not. There are more parasitic species than any other kind of animal niche. Here are your next moves for AP Bio success. Please subscribe to learn-biology.com, and please watch this next video.